Quit your whining. Quit your bitching. Quit complaining because science says it's bad for you. According to science, there's a new study out says that there are 3 main reasons why you shouldn't complain. Even though it feels really awesome, they say it does. Venting anger is similar to emotional farting in a closed space because it sounds like a good idea, but it's dead wrong. You're letting something out, but it stinks. It's just going to sit with you, and sometimes my clothes smell like fart weeks later. All right, one reason is because the synapses fire together. When synapses fire together, they wire together. So originally your synapses are far apart. Mm-hmm. You have an idea, they start going close together. You do that same thing a bunch, it'll get more and more hardwired because your brain wants to be lazy, and it'll put work into making it okay to be lazy later. Mm-hmm. The other thing is it's contagious, not like a disease, but that behavior is, neuroscience has proven that when someone else expresses a feeling or experiences something, your body has like this instinct for empathy where it tries to mimic that idea. That's why you see someone get like surgery done on them in a TV show. Like I'll be like, oh God, I can't do that. I can't watch that. I feel it myself. The same thing happens with emotions where if someone complains and feels bad, your body will be like, oh, I'm going to try that out. And the more you do it, the more it reinforces. And then it makes you stressed, and it's terrible for your body too. They say it can lead to long-term effects like interfering with your learning and memory, lowering your immune function and bone density, increasing weight gain, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart disease, all that stuff. Yep. It's really bad for you.
Yeah, when you're stressed and complaining, your body produces the stress hormone cortisol, and cortisol makes you want to eat more, and it makes you want to eat bad food. So that's why people tend to gain weight when they're stressed out. But this makes all the sense in the world. I mean, the more negative you are, if you have a negative outlook on your life, not only does it have health ramifications, but it has social ramifications as well. People around you are likely to also feel negative, right? Because of the empathy that you just mentioned right now. But also, negativity breeds negativity. Mm-hmm. So if you choose to focus on the negative aspects of your life, well, then that negative outlook will lead to more negative things happening.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
Here's something else. Is it so easy to complain? It's so easy.
It's easy and it feels so good while you're doing it.
Yeah, and usually you're complaining about like the person making decisions. And let me tell you what's difficult is making decisions. And if you're complaining about like your work environment, yes, it's good to know that other people are having the same feelings. Make sure you're not just complaining for complaining's sake.
Absolutely.
It's such an easy pattern to get into, and it eats away at work environments.
So this was very relevant to my life this year because of how intense this year has been for me. It's been election year, so I've been doing double the work. I'm planning a wedding in September, so that's been overwhelming. And then there's also the fact that, my mom had a kidney transplant. That was incredibly stressful. Thankfully, everything went well. And so for the majority of this year, I decided that I would let that intensity get to me and I would focus on the negatives. And I became a habitual complainer. And it was having a negative impact on my friendships and my relationship.
Yeah.
And then finally, fairly recently, I realized if I keep doing this, I'm just going to keep pushing those I love further and further away from me. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to isolate myself in this negativity bubble. And so instead of focusing on the negatives, I decided to look at the bright side of things. So yeah, planning a wedding is super stressful, but I'm still going to be able to marry the person that I love. So that's the upside of that. Election coverage is also super stressful, but I get to do what I love for my career. I love politics. I get to talk about politics, and I get to make money off doing that. That's awesome as well. All these negative things that we choose to focus on have an upside. So focus on the upside.
Why do we do it? Like, that's the thing is like all these things, all the science is like, it's bad for you. I wonder what the instinct is. It might be a problem-solving instinct. Like, it might be, oh God, I know this is bad. I know this feels bad. But that's all those things where like, oh, a science thing says that this behavior is terrible for you.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere.
I think that as humans, we want validation. So if we feel like something terrible is happening in our lives, we want someone to agree with us and offer us emotional support, right?
Right.
Because that's also part of survival. You know, knowing that you have that group of friends or that social circle that'll give you the support you need once you feel like you've been done wrong.
Yeah.
But if it becomes a habit, it becomes more of a negative thing in your life as opposed to a positive thing. It's no longer about survival. It's about, you know, doing what you mentioned, like farting in an elevator or whatever it was.
It does sound like such a good idea because you're alone.
Right.
You're like, oh, you walk in, I'm alone.
Then
like,
someone
ooh,
walks in right after you and they know it was you. They know it was you.
I have a friend who now uses his baby daughter to cover farting wherever.
That's perfect. I would do the same.
Like he'll be in like the grocery store and someone will turn around after he farted and he'll just go, gotta change you, baby. And then just walks
Are
away.
you a crop dusting type of farter?
No, but I remember being in like basketball when I would play basketball, and the way farting works when you're playing basketball is you don't want to do it, but once you start, every time your foot makes impact with the ground, it just goes.
Ew.
So that's who I am as a person. Back to the complaining thing.
Yes.
I feel like I complain a lot, like more than I should, and I should get better at it. But there's something that I remind myself is that you can make yourself feel better, like even chemically by just smiling.
Oh, totally.
And it like releases, similar to how cortisol comes as a result of being stressed. Smiling is supposed to make you feel better, and that's good. And I definitely, when people are being way too bubbly and positive, I'm like the first to roll my eyes.
Yeah.
And I need to get better at not doing that.
Some people are over the top, though.
Oh yeah, bubbly folks, like I don't have the energy to deal with it,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. And then also, like I went to a bachelor party for my friend who's the most positive person in the world, and I was trying to genuinely express like my positivity to him, but I'm so hardwired to be kind of sarcastic that I was like, this feels awkward, but I do need to tell you that you're a great person, and authenticity is very difficult for me. I express authenticity through like humor. It's harder for me to say like, you, sir, are good for the following earnest, true reasons. But then again, this study kind of proves that the more I try to do that, the more I'll be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Just like with anything.
It becomes a habit.
All right, you guys make a habit of watching this show and subscribing to us. Actually, you only have to subscribe once, and then hopefully, the more you do it, the more your brain will be hardwired to need more Pop Trigger and need more Anna Kasparian, which I highly recommend upping your dosage in your life of her. Where can they find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms, at Twitter at Anna Kasparian, Instagram Anna Kasparian TYT, and you can watch me on The Young Turks, youtube.com/The Young Turks.
See you guys next time on Pop Trigger.